And welcome to Next Steps for Ambitious Beginners, week 20 of Taking Tricks. We've been working on suit establishment and promotion for some time, and in our last couple weeks I've been showing you some hands that I've just collected, and these are hands that have scored well, but aren't all that complicated because they involve skills that we know about, things we've been working on. Now I know if you're anything like me, there are times when you're just in a fog when you start to play a hand, and how we clear that fog is by identifying what's important, coming up with a plan, and then basically keeping our eyes open. Here I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 points in a 6, 3, 3, 1. I'm not going to open that one no trump. I can see where people might, but I want to open a diamond here. And our partner has a good diamond suit. West seems to be the guy with points because East is bidding, even though he's a passed hand, and my partner and I are kind of loaded, right? So I'm going to think about 3 no trump. I'm going to offer it up because I have Ace Jack 9. And my partner jumps to 6 diamonds. So he had a pretty good hand. And let's see what it is. I bet she has no spades. All right, no spades. So we've got 6 diamond tricks, the ace of spades, the ace of hearts, that's 8, and 9 with the ace of clubs. We can rough 2 spade tricks for 11. So we're just in search of one more trick, and we know that when we hold 5-1, that they hold, that they're going to hold 7 of them. We hold 6, they hold 7. And that means that as long as they're breaking 4-3, we can grow up a little one. So let's identify that as our winning trick. Now I'm going to duck a heart. Pitch a heart here on the ace of spades. And then I'm going to, look at the diamonds, only 2 out. Let's just cash 1, see what happens. And all we have to do is cash 1. And now we can work on that club suit. Now notice the other thing we're going to do is we're going to rough these 2 spades so they'll be out of the way. And it's these hearts that we may be trying to pitch. There's the king. So now I'm missing just the Jack 10, 9. Now just missing the 10, 9, and they followed twice, right? They have 7, started with 7. We're looking for that 4-3 split. I'm going to go over there with the 9 of spades. And there's the 9. So they only have 1 higher than that now. Does it fall? No, but we can rough it out because they are breaking 4-3. Rough that last spade so we have no spade losers. Rough out the last club. Cross back over with the ace of hearts. And take our winning club trick. All right. So we just lose a heart, and then we have the rest of the tricks. I battle the fog all the time, especially as I get older, it seems. Right? But what drives away from the fog? Paying attention to what matters. Get your plan, and then pay attention to what matters. Track the little cards that matter. Track the top cards that matter, which we did in the club suit here, and we're going to do as we go through the rest of the hands today. So our next hand, again, pretty close to an opener. I probably opened it, but I didn't open it. And this was a robot hand, actually, in North. I was playing with a robot, and North chose to pass it. And I chose to double. At that point, robot comes in with the 4 clubs. I like this bid now for sure. Even questioning whether I should have gone to 5 clubs, right? Because West, when he extended the preempt, we know he is a weak hand. So we know we have probably game points. But partner's got to have something. And he does. 7, 11, and 4 is 15 points. So we're in good shape. The ace of diamonds is a fantastic lead. Let's count our tricks and see what we need. Right? We have 6 clubs, 7 with the ace of hearts, 9 with the ace, king of spades, 10 with the king of diamonds, right? And the question is, where do we get more tricks? And I want you to look at this diamond suit because it's fabulous. This diamond lead, if it's from a stiff, he's going to need to try to get to West's hand to get a ruff. He can't get there, right? If it's a doubleton, that means it's a 5-4-2-2. Meaning I have a length trick in diamonds. I also have the jack of diamonds and the 10 of diamonds, and West is holding the queen. Pretty sure that this is not leading with the queen of diamonds. So we'll simply play low and see whether he continues the suit. And this time he switches. But that doesn't matter to us. We can win it. I want to keep entries to this diamond hand. So we'll play the king of spades. We have 9 clubs. They have 4. And they follow twice. So I cross back over to the diamonds. Win the king of diamonds. There's that second diamond. Now we know the queen of diamonds is in West, and that he only has 2 cards. He has the queen of diamonds and 1 more. So he ducks, we'll throw a loser. This is called a roughing finesse. Right? Play the 10 of diamonds. Now he can win the queen, but he has no more diamonds. Right? So we can cross over to the ace of hearts, and on our 3 of diamonds, our winning 3 of diamonds, we can throw away the 8 of hearts and claim. Right? These are random hands, and hands that score well when they make, especially when you add on that extra trick. Right? So what we've been talking about for the last 4 months are techniques that put you on the plus side. Right? You're going to be on the plus side. Every time you do one of these rights, you're going to be on the plus side because you're playing in an open game where there's beginners and intermediates and players that are ambitious even like you. They're not always going to make these, right? And that's going to be our goal. We're always going to make these. If that hand is here, if we have the technique, we're going to make them. We're going to focus on it, and we're going to make those hands. I'm trying to do that myself, so I'm not asking you to do anything more than I am, which is be good for your partner by making the hands that you're supposed to make. Okay, so our third hand, we have a fabulous club suit. Fabulous club suit, and we're going to get into the auction with it. What do we got? 7, 8, 10, 15 points. Missing the queen of clubs. That's it. We get in, and West bids 2 hearts, East bids 3. I'm guessing they probably, given that we only have a heart, they probably have at least a 9-card heart suit. So, interesting choice here. We have a spade fit, and we have a running club suit, and just 2 diamond losers. So I really feel like I've got a big game here. A little scary because I have 15 points, and East and West probably have quite a few points. I mean, maybe as many as 17, 18 points. I feel like, does he promise a minimum number here? Less than 11 high card points, certainly. That's just math. I just feel like this is going to be worth a spade. And I bet you another thing to think about is what type of game you're playing. I've been playing a lot of in pairs, so we bid our games. So partner is not empty. In fact, he has a 6-card diamond suit to go along with our queen 6. They've led the ace. And when we become sensitive to promotion and establishment, our eyes will immediately notice. You could even make this a habit on suits that matter. You should be thinking, well, we have 8 of them. I'm talking about the diamond suit. We have 8. They have 5. I'm missing of the top, like ace to 9, right? I'm only missing, now that I can see the ace, I'm only missing the 10, right? once we become sensitive to suit establishment and promotion, suits like this diamond suit are very important. We actually are looking at the missing cards and how many there are. We hold 8, they hold 5. He's leading the ace of diamonds, and just like the last hand, that's probably either a stiff or a doubleton. But if we're missing 5, what are they? The queen? No, that's in our hand. The 10? Yeah, the 10. Right? So the ace 10 of the top tricks, that's all that's missing, right? And they have 5. So this diamond suit suddenly looks really sweet and even better than our club suit, assuming we can play them, and we can, right? We have a couple leads, and it won't take long to set them up, right? We don't need to lead 4 times when we hold king, queen, jack, 9, 8, right? All we need to see is the 10, and the suit will run. Point-wise, this should be pretty clear at this point that that West doesn't have much more than that ace, right? He didn't open, and so you have East 13, and that's about all that he can have. So we'll let him win his ace, like we have a choice. See if he follows, leads him again. He leads a heart. That's okay by us. And now it's time to set up the spades. And we know that we're going to lose 2 of them. The ace and the queen are going to be in East, and there's not a darn thing we can do about it. Continues with the hearts. We'll ruff another. Now we'll knock out the ace. All right, now we're in good shape. Here comes the diamond, and what is the card missing that we're looking for? The 10. Okay. Right? From the get-go, we knew these could line up, and they have. We pull the last trump, and we run our diamonds. And make our contract. All right, so how this type of, when you see these things at the table, there's a certain focus that's involved. I've heard my students talk about feeling like sometimes it's like just a big fog. And I really get that. I really understand what they're talking about. If we can see suits like this, see right away that's only the 10 is missing, see right away that they're breaking 3-2, then the fog very quickly blows out of sight, right? Because we become focused on that suit, and that's what we did here. So we're able to set that. Hell, we didn't even do anything. They led the diamonds twice, setting up our tricks, right? But we were ready. We were watching, and when we follow through on this, we score well. And again, this is a hand that was average plus. It was probably in imps that scored well, right? That scored imps, because there are people who won't bid it, and then people who won't make it, right? Just keep your eyes open sometimes, and you will do well. So another good hand. Partner opens a spade. We have 7, 10, 14 points, so we're going to get ourselves to game. Right? We know it's opening versus opening. We'll start by showing our hearts, and we're going to want to force to game with the 2-heart bid, which is promises only 5. I'm going to bid him again, and now partner knows we have extra LinkedIn hearts. It's enough for him. We get to 4 hearts, and he probably has 5 spades and 2 hearts. Yep, 5 spades and 2 hearts, and we have ace, king of clubs. So we've got a good hand here. And we've got a running spade suit. But it's really important to pay attention to what's going on with the rest of the hand as well. Can we run 5 spades? Well, you know that we need to have entries for that, right? And we're never going to be able to pull trump and run those spades. But we don't need to run them all, right? They still set up nicely to pitch losers on. So we're not thinking about making 5 spades. right? Because we have 6 of them, they have 7, even if they split 4-3, right? That means they're going to be roughing the 4th one, and at that point, we're not going to get back to the hand, right? So we don't get 5 spade tricks here. But what we can do with that hand is before we pull trump, we can use those spades to get rid of losers. And I'm talking about the diamonds. So there's the second lead, and there's the third lead, which would be nice. And we'd think this was all set up and ready to go if we had more entries, but we don't. But we have managed to get rid of our 2 diamond losers on them. And now the jack and spades, although they're high, just don't matter to us. What I want to do is get rid of my other club, my other loser, the club loser. And I can do that by simply roughing it, a very safe rough. And now we have the heart suit and an ace of diamonds. So we're going to lose some hearts. We don't need the jack and 10 of spades here. What we should be focused on is what's missing in the heart suit. Now, once again, this is just really an important skill to have, and it's not that hard. Identify a suit like this heart suit and say, what's missing? We had 8, they have 5. I'm missing the ace, the queen, and the 10, right? Those are the high cards that matter. And when those cards are gone, our 9, 8, 6, 5 have all grown up. The only one little heart missing is the 7. Now you've identified all the cards that matter, ace, queen, 10, and 7, and you can just look for them. So you lead the jack of hearts, right? And we watch the whole suit promote. Right now what's missing? The 10 and the 7, the 10 and the 7. So we lead the 9, there's the 10, there's the 2, and all that's missing is the 7. Now, once again, by tracking these spot cards, right, by keeping an eye on this, the fog lifts, and we can recognize that all we have to do is play the ace, and the hand is over. And we get an overtrick. So this was a hand that scored very well. Right, and we got an overtrick, and we played the hand well. We focused on what was missing in the heart suit. We saw that we just needed to get rid of a couple losers, the 2 diamond losers and the 8 of clubs, and then everything else could be handled in the heart suit. So clear your mind, focus on what matters, and we can do well on hands like these. Let's have a slam, right? Fond memory of all of the easily Blackwood slams that we had over the first few months. I got an 18-point hand. That seems true. Hearts and diamonds. Maybe you're going to jump shift to diamonds, but I'll start with a heart. And we get a 4-card limit raise. Give him 11 points. And 4 hearts, and we know we're going to be in slam, right? We're missing just the ace of clubs, king of diamonds, maybe the queen of trump. And we can have an auction that we learn that, right? We'd start by just showing the first round control, right? That's the way the robots bid. And then they show us the first round control. So we know that we have the ace of clubs. So we have all the key cards, right? So might as well just bid for no trump. Don't get any information on this one. We already knew that. But we have another step that we can find out about the Queen of Hearts. This is called the Queen Ask. And very important bid to have in your bidding basket, your slam bidding, is the Queen Ask, right? Because it gives you more than just the Queen. If they have the Queen, they may also be able to show me the King. What King would matter to me in a search for a Grand Slam, perhaps? Well, the King of Diamonds. And we do that by bidding 1 over the key card response. Here that's hearts, so we can't bid that, so we just bid the spade. Right? And that asks for the Queen of Trump. And the response is to show your cheapest king. They don't have the, right? And here I have the King of Clubs, so it can't be that, but it does mean that they have the King of Diamonds. It's promised the Queen of Trump and the King of Diamonds. And now I'm going to get greedy, probably greedier than I would in a normal game, but what the heck? Let's go to 7 hearts. They got 11 points. And it's a nice hand. We don't have any club losers, but we do have some diamond issues. Other than that, everything's a winner. So we have to settle the diamonds. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, we look at what's played, right, and what's missing. They have started with a diamond. This couldn't be better for us, unless there's a ruff coming. He's probably got Queen Jack third, or Queen Jack fourth. So we have 7. They have 6 of them. Well, let's go ahead and pull some trump. They follow once, they follow twice, so we've dealt with that. They had started with 4. And now we're going to play diamonds. Everything else is good, right? We can. There's no club losers. There's no spade losers. It's all about the diamonds. So if they had 6 of them, let's see what happens. Here's the second diamond play. So they were at least 2-2. They're either going to be 3-3 or they're going to be 4-2. And all that's missing is the Jack of diamonds. And there it goes. Rough that out. And now the diamond is all setting up for us. So once again, we've been able to identify a suit that matters, and we have the rest here. We were able to identify the suit that was so important to us, the diamonds, and we were actually able to very easily figure out what was missing, right? There's 6 missing to the Queen Jack. Other than that, we have everything else. When they gave us the diamond lead, the first time I've seen that on this hand, the hand sets up immediately, right? Because then we know we just need to rough out the Jack. When they follow twice, and we can tell where the Jack of diamonds is, hand's over, right? So clear the fog, make the hands you're supposed to make. Be a good partner and get those tricks, right? When you bid a contract like this, make it. And take it from there. The little dog is agreeing with me that that's what we should concentrate on in the future, is focusing, clearing the fog, and making our contracts.